pens are all near the ocean. I don't know why. Something going on with coming out of the pandemic, and it's beneficial to live near the salt or something.
That's an interesting question.
Hingham, Masconomet, Norwell, Rockland, Dighton.
Wow, that whole Southern Conference. Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I want you have Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, who are just horrible.
Yeah.
Well, they're in the middle of the ocean. Maybe that's the problem.
well, that's definitely not
They have to take a boat to play most of the games.
Yes, you do. Yep.
You're a little seasick when you start them.
We had a story when I played for Barnstable High School back in the day, and we made the tournament, and we're in the semifinals. Actually, it was the first round. The game went 2 days.
Yeah, we did that too with Bridgewater.
The game went 2 days. We were playing Taunton. We had to come back the next day. Overtimes.
Because you couldn't score.
People had to light. No, the final was 4-2. The final was 4-2 actually.
Okay.
We won, which gave us the treat to go play Madison Park High School in the stadium in Boston.
Okay.
We play in that cement stadium in Boston, and we were just little Cape Cod kids with we show up with cheerleaders to Madison Park. We all get the picture, right? So we end up winning. They were 20-0, and we knock them off 1-0. You've never seen a coach and cheerleaders get on a bus so fast in your life. It was unbelievable. It was like, yay, everybody on the bus. We didn't have time to celebrate, and we ended up losing to Zavarian in the state semifinals. Yeah. But it's the farthest our school ever had gone, and a little school from the Cape.
A lot of the city teams, some of them are very good, but some of them pad their records. And when you get to the tournament, you say, oh, wow, this team must be good. And then you play them, and you say, no.
I think that's exactly what happened in our case. Is that we were like, how are they 20-0?
Yeah, they make the tournament a lot.
Okay.
And sometimes they have very good teams, but other times you're like, how are you 16-2? Yeah. You just didn't play anybody.
I could see leading the league in felonies, not really. Yeah, you can cut that out.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Cut that out. I'm just thinking, I know the same people you know from Cape Cod, so I love the idea that you're going to besmirch the reputation of some Boston kids when you know that team was probably loaded with hooligans.
But you know what? They have a great, Paul, you bring up a good point. I don't think it's a saltwater. They have a phenomenal youth program in those areas.
Oh, they must.
South Coast Soccer League.
Always been great, too. Yeah.
They really do. They start them small, and they have their systems. We used to play them all the time, and we would lose a lot, especially to Hingham. Yeah. That whole area up there, Norwell. I think it starts with the youth programs.
It does. There's a culture in these towns. Yep. Like I would always tell my kids when the ball goes out of bounds to pick it up and pretend it's yours, and if it's not, then leave it on the floor. Yeah. But a lot of times they would throw it into the woods and get a yellow card, or they would hand it to the other team, who would then throw it in. They were off the field. Right? Really dumb.
Yeah, not really dumb.
But I was watching a Needham game, waiting for my team to play the next game, and I was watching a Needham team play.
Always fantastic soccer.
Yeah,
those of you from Needham, always.
And my kids were 15 that I was coaching. These kids are about 10. The ball went out of bounds, and the kid did exactly what I had been telling him to do for weeks. He ran over to get it. He noticed the ref was saying it wasn't his. He put it over here a little, and he sprinted back on the field.
Yeah. Play it until you told you not to.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Always.
Little things like that will lead to wins.
Yep.
If you can get everyone on the same page, doing the little things.
Doing the little things?
Yeah.
Hiding the ball from the ref.
Yeah.
No.
Hiding the ball.
Especially when you have the lead.
Well, when the ball goes out of bounds, a lot of times the ref doesn't know whose it is. So if you go get it, he'll say, well, he's going to get it. It must be his, and it's going that way. Right. I would teach my kids to do that.
Yeah.
Within honesty range. If you blasted it out, don't go get it. But within that, are you sure it's go get it?
Yeah.
And they would always hesitate, and the other team would go get it, and we would lose throw-ins and goal kicks and corner kicks because of these little things.
He makes a great point with the referees, too. I used to referee, and a lot of times it's bang, bang, going out of bounds, and a lot of times you'll assume the kid knows who it went off of, and you don't argue. Yeah. And you see him running to get it, you just put your arm up, you're going in that direction, and move on.
You know what I love? I love the fact that Jim is talking this inside soccer coaching. Like, what was it, 20 minutes ago that he told us that his 4-year-old got a red card?
Now, listen, that had nothing to do with I'm not responsible for anything behind me. I'm coaching. That's the rule.
All the things in front of you?
Only thing I can see. That's it.
Well, let me just poke some holes into Paul's theory about the salt water. The girls and the boys in New Hampshire, top 3 in this maxpreps.com. Top 3 boys teams, Nashua South, Milford, and Manchester Memorial, all of which are centrally located.
New Hampshire's always completely backwards from what we're doing down here. I just happen to notice that. I don't know if it's a thing. But.
And the girls,
they're tax-free.
They what?
They're tax-free.
And the girls in New Hampshire, Bishop Girton of Nashua, Laconia #2 in Dover. So
Bishop Girton is a huge school, huge private school, known for their soccer. They recruit.
Yeah,
they're same thing with Bishop Fian.
Yep.
They have always been known.
They recruit high school teams. Are not allowed, are they not allowed to recruit?
You put it this way: there's a tuition that gets paid to those schools. They can make it affordable for the parents.
Ah, okay.
So one guy we didn't mention is, and he'll be on someday, is Crowell's team is not in the top even 20.
They were in the top 15.
And who was
St. John's Prep?
St. John's Prep. My buddy.
recruiting.
I can tell you this. I know.
I think what we're saying is the school recruits itself. By being out there, people look. Well, can I go there?
Yeah.
No one's doing that with a town program. You live in Hingham, you go to Hingham.
But
you don't say I want to go to Hingham if you live in Chelmsford.
I had a buddy. This is hockey. I had a buddy when we were kids who told me that he was recruited to another school in our area, a Catholic school in the North Shore area, not St. John's Prep. But I can tell you, because I know Kroll doesn't recruit. I know that.
I know. But if he wants to come on, he needs to climb back in the top 10. Just tell him that.
Yeah, I will tell him that.
Taking some ragtag. St. John's Prep 18th is the state team.
Don't embarrass us.
If you want to come on, and
start winning games.
If you want to spend an hour with me and with Nardizzi and I and Jim, you'll have to do a little better than your Hall of Fame selection.
We don't want to go from soccer corruption to some mediocre record in soccer. No, that's not how we work.
It's
not how we roll here.
It's a good point. It's like, we've got hosts. Their kids have got more red cards than you. I doubt that. I'm guessing Kroll's got more red cards than the 4-year-old kid on the bench. Anything else we want to cover? We're at the end of our schedule.
We didn't really talk about the MLS playoffs. So briefly,
well, we talked about the Drake curse. You've just released a player and sent him to Bruges.
Sent him back.
If you listen to the previous podcast, Dave.
Yep.
Paul did say he has money on the Revolution winning the whole thing, so he's got a vested interest in these playoffs. Right?
That's a good point. Well, so you all right? So the MLS playoffs start in 3 weeks.
So the current odds actually have Seattle top.
Yep.
LAFC, who isn't even in the playoffs, is second. They're assuming they're going to get in. But the odds in Vegas, they're like, they draw the line in the standings. They're the team below the line.
Yeah.
And then the Revs. But both of those teams are out west, so they would have to play each other. So they're basically saying they think the Revs will get to the finals.
So Galaxy nowhere near this.
Galaxy just got a big win the other day.
They were kind of
faltering. So they're now back in the picture.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, Seattle is missing people. I don't know what their injury status is in terms of them coming back, but if they have their full team, they're going to win the whole thing.
Seattle.
No,
they are going to win the whole thing.
You need to see a Seattle Sounders.
I have to see Messi. I have to see Seattle Sounders.
No. When you see a Seattle soccer, you look like you're looking at a European Champions League game with the fans that they have there. I mean, packed, playing music through the whole thing, colors, band. Seriously, it's very entertaining.
Okay,
great goals too. They score great goals.
So you think that they're going to? You think that they'd beat the Revs in a series?
I mean, the way the Revs are playing early in the year, I would give them a chance. But right now, they're not quite as solid.
Yeah, why aren't they? Why aren't they as good?
It's just hard to sustain that. I mean, can they get it back? Bo's not scoring as much. Yeah. He's kind of pouting. When he doesn't score, he's not a happy guy out there.
You watch his shoulders every time.
Yeah.
You can tell. Dropped. Done. Looks like he quits.
And then,
hate to say it, but
even Turner's excellent. But whereas 2-3 months ago, like, nothing got in.
Yeah.
Stuff gets in now. It would go in on any other goalie.
Yep.
But he was saving stuff where you're like, how did he save that? So everyone's just sort of a notch down.
So remember the discussion
Seattle's
we had
scary.
when we talked about them winning the regular season, how that does not necessarily translate into winning the overall.
Right.
And I think what happens is you can blow your wad on the regular season to get into your automatic CONCACAF spot and then screw up the whole playoffs for yourself because you've done it so hard. And scouting is huge now, Dave.
Now, what about so you think Arena's ability to build a team this year gets them into the gets them into the finals. You think it'll get them into the finals? Who in the East could beat them?
Well, Nashville has so many shutouts. Like, they're really hard to score on. They might even set the record for. I think they have something like 13 or 14 shutouts, but they don't score a lot.
Yeah.
And we've played them and we've beaten them, but they've been also, like, I think they tied us once, and they're going to be tough if we play them.
Yep.
And NYC was looking pretty good. They're starting to slip a little, and now the team that's really hot. Help me out here. Oh, Atlanta. So Atlanta fired their coach and got their striker back from injury, and now they're demolishing everybody. And we won't see them till the playoffs. I think they have 3 games left. It's like Colorado and Orlando and one other team. So if Arena can pull it off, I mean, it's a great coaching job. It really
Absolutely.
is. Seattle or even LAFC has, I think, more talent than us on paper.
On paper.
Yeah. But that's what Arena tends to do.
I think the Galaxy has more talent than we do.
Yeah, they do.
I really do. I think they've been underperforming.
Yeah.
And usually teams like that, they underperform for a reason to just get in the playoffs, and then they come out smoking.
Okay.
They come
wait. So what are you saying? They underperformed to get into the playoffs?
Well, what I'm saying is it's almost like they pace themselves through the season.
To be playing.
Using more subs, playing different formations, attacking differently, but knowing they're going to beat the teams they need to beat to get in the playoffs, but not show everything they got.
Really?
You want to peak as you're starting to go in. Like Bill Belichick, I hate to use a football analogy. He divides the season into 3 seasons. The first 6 games are going to be played this way.
Right.
See where we are, and we make our adjustments, and we peak when we get to the playoffs. Some of these soccer, like the Galaxy, you'll be like, boy, they're out of it. They're not good. And all this. And the same thing happens in the NHL.
So it's not a sandbagging thing. It's trying to find what works.
Yeah. But they were also hampered by their striker being out for 2 months.
And you have injuries as well that you want to take care of. And, and you shift the way you play. You find out your strengths and your weaknesses throughout the season, knowing full well you're going to make the playoffs. Then how are we going to attack these teams in the playoffs?
But do they lose? How big an issue is home field in soccer?
I don't think it's in the MLS it's actually huge in the regular season. The road teams, if you're gambling, rarely win.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but in a 1 game, unless it's like a high altitude, I don't worry about Arena going in and winning a game. Although they'll have home field advantage.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean the idea that you would I mean, I get it. The idea that it's a long season and it depends on, the NFL, all about who's injured in December. And if you're healthy in December, you've got a good quarterback, you've got a pretty good chance of winning. In soccer, with all the injuries, and am I correct to say that most soccer injuries are of the nagging sort that you play with?
Well, I was a goalie, so we never got hurt. But go ahead.
No, I don't know about that. I mean, there's horrific knee injuries.
There are horrific. Okay.
You think this is a pansy sport? Nobody's getting hurt?
No, I'm thinking I think you've got to be really tough to play, just like you have to be really tough to play baseball. But you say that to most people, and they're like, baseball players are wimpy. As long as you don't have to play 4 or 5 games in a week, it's easy to believe that.
No. I know what you mean by I think you meant nagging, like
nagging,
little sore hamstrings
by the end of the year. Yeah,
right. Things that you could
ankles just from getting beaten.
Getting kicked.
Like Paul said, you watch a soccer game and you can't tell me it's a pansy sport, man.
I didn't say it was a pansy sport.
You're a freaking outsider.
They're always trying to. All I'm saying is,
been saying it since we started the podcast.
They're always trying to kick each other. This is what I notice with soccer teams. If you've got a lesser team against a better team, they try and kick each other in the ankle intentionally, and so all those kicks to the ankle lead to nagging injuries where you're out for a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3, but it's not going to end your career or your season.
No, but what it does do is it slows you down.
Yeah.
And soccer's about speed and foot skills. As soon as you get to slow down.
How do you know? You were a goalie. How do you know this?
I used to go, run, Paul. Run, you little bastard. Run. I'm going to kick the ball far, Paul. Go get it. Why didn't you head that ball? I know it was 700 feet in the air.
No, I know what you're saying. I think the Revs have shown that they can win without Carlos Heel. They've shown they can win when Bo's struggling. To me, that's Arena. And Seattle has shown that even without these top guys, they're still a wagon. And they're going to be scary if they get all of those guys back.
And I think it depends on who you play in your first round and your second round in soccer, because it can take a lot out of you, Dave. It really can.
Okay.
It can really take a lot out of you. And you go out, you come out flat